interest rates have went up again, guys. Can you believe that? Interest rates are going up and they're at 8.2%. Who would have ever saw this coming? Before we jump into it, my name is Orlando. Welcome to the channel, guys. Make sure you check in the description. I have some good stuff in there, a real estate course for beginners and a YouTube course, but let's jump into this, guys. Take a look at the interest rates. A 30-year fixed rate is at 8.2%? Say it ain't so, Sway. Say it ain't so. I mean, look, we have talked about this, guys. We have talked about this, about how I believe that the low demand will put pressure on sellers to bring down prices because of the high interest rates keeping individuals from buying a house or wanting to buy a house. And that's exactly what we're seeing when we're seeing low demand. But let's look at these numbers, guys. Let's look at these numbers. I want to go through this so that everybody can understand that these aren't made up numbers. Because that's the first thing that I get in my comic section is, Orlando, this isn't true. And I'm pulling it right off Google. It's right there, guys.
Where do they find these people?
Then a 15-year fix is a 6.97%. And then who cares about the arms? Because let me tell you what, you should not listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth. You should not be trying to get an arm right now. No way. No way. I'm not going to let you do it. Don't do the arm. And I know some people are going to still say,
hey, man, this is the best time to get an arm, man. Like, you don't want to pay 8.2%.
I mean, when you could get 7.6. And then, unfortunately, not all the time, those same people will send me emails when they're in foreclosure, when the rates have jumped up super high. And I'm hoping, please just don't mess with the arms, especially if you're new to this, which most people are. Don't do it. $300,000 loan amount, 20% down payment. And then the state was Florida. Credit score is 680 to 699. I know someone's going to say,
well, you know, 680, that's not average. Who's buying a house with a 680 credit score?
A lot of people. A lot of people. I think that there's this myth that people believe that like the average credit score that most people are coming is going to be a 800, 750 credit score or something that's even, you know, 700, 720. And I would beg to differ because most of the time when people send me emails and my viewers reach out to me and they ask me questions, they always state that their credit score is somewhere in between. Somewhere in between the 680, 700 area. That seems to be the average for me. Hey, I know. And if you're doing better than that, great. But here's the difference though. Even if I went up to 700, we're still at 8.1%. I mean, yeah, you'll be doing better with a 700 to 720 credit score, but it's not that much better because it's still at 8.12%. Now, the question is this good? Is this great? And I would say yes. This is exactly the path that we want to go if we want to get prices down. We're seeing prices drop in certain areas by 5, 6%, but we're constantly seeing the price go down. And that's because demand has dropped, guys. Believe it or not. I know a lot of you guys are going to say, Florida. In Miami, it's crazy. And I would say, okay, great. You're doing your job. You're looking at your local area. But here's the thing, guys. Around nationwide, that is not the case. Nationwide, maybe in your local area, it's still crazy. But in other areas, in most areas, we're starting to see a huge slowdown. The mortgage demand is something that a lot of people are just running away from. Nobody wants to pay 8.2% on the interest rate. They just don't. They just don't, guys. And here's the thing. We talk about it all the time. We want to focus. Listen to me. We want to focus on purchase price. Who cares about the interest rate? The interest rate is only a tool to slow down demand so that the price can drop, not so that you can make it affordable for you. And I'm being on the extreme here. What if I told you you could buy a $150,000 home at the 8.2%? Or if I told you you could pay $400,000 with a 4%. Which one would you take? And I hope you said the first one. And I want to add on that second option, You know you are overpaying. You know you're overpaying. You're going to get a 4% interest rate, but then you also know that you're paying $250,000, $150,000 over asking. That's the point. And here's the thing. A lot of times I hear individuals saying to me,
Orlando, yes, I know I'm overpaying, but that's the game that I have to play. I have to overpay because if I don't overpay, I won't get the house.
And then my answer to that will be, don't get the house. I know. Easier said than done, especially with a lot of people who are emotionally attached to the home buying process. I get it. It's for your family. You see your kids in the backyard. You see you're mowing the grass and you just see your family in this home. I get that. But at what cost are you willing to put yourself in a financial distress situation? Are you willing to know that you're paying $150,000, $100,000, $50,000 over asking to get that home?
Awkward. So awkward.
Knowing that we still have a long way to go in this economy, that you could lose and be upside down in that home. And you're willing to do that?
I mean, what is your malfunction?
You're willing to put your family and yourself at risk for that just so you can get a home. It makes no sense. But if that's what you do, hey, no judgment. But I'm just trying to give you a different insight on why it's so important to look at the purchase price and not focus on the interest rate. I would hope everybody watching this video is so focused on interest rates slowing demand and not looking for interest rates so they can purchase the home. Ignoring the purchase price and only focusing on the interest rate, it's a fool's game, in my opinion. But what are the high interest rates causing? Take a look at this. It says mortgage demand drops to the lowest level in a month as interest rates rise. Rising interest rates have a direct impact on mortgage demand, guys. Haven't we been talking about that? What does the interest rate do? In this article, it is saying exactly what I'm saying, which had been rising for several weeks. We're seeing a direct impact. If you can't see the direct impact that these interest rates are having, why don't you just go ask one of your relatives or a friend and say,
Hey, are you interested in buying a house right now?
you know the first thing that people will say? Not with these interest rates. Nope, not me. The way my account's set up, I'm not doing it. You think I'm gonna pay 8.2%? That's what you will hear from most people. They're not playing this game. They don't want to be involved in buying a home when the interest rate is so high, especially when the norm was 3-4% just a couple of years ago, just a year ago. Guys, that's crazy. Just a year ago, people were paying 4% and now it's double that. Let me just tell you a really quick story of what's happening now, especially in the commercial side. Previously, before, I used to get so many people hitting me over the head saying to me,
Orlando, I want fixed rates. I want fixed rates. I want fixed rates.
When interest rates were low. Now that interest rates are high, everybody's asking me for variable rates. You know why everybody's asking me for variable rates? Because they don't want to be stuck at a fixed rate at 8, 9, 10%. That's why. They would prefer to roll the dice and buy real estate, if they're going to buy real estate today, and then hope that rates come down in the next 2 to 3 years, rather than being stuck at 9, 10% for the next 5 years. Isn't that crazy how the tables turn? Mortgage demand to purchase a home, which has led rising for the last 3 straight weeks, dropped 5% for the week. Guys, if this pressure keeps going, sellers have no choice. No choice, because here's the thing. We may not get a bunch of sellers that fall into the group and are forced to sell. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that everybody won't be able to hold off and decide not to sell. Some people will decide to sell because they have to sell. They're maybe moving to a different state for a job. Maybe they don't want to live in that state anymore. They're moving, closer to family. For whatever reason, remember, everybody's situation is not your situation.
Write that down.
So a lot of people will go ahead and say, you know what? I have to sell this home and it's maybe not the best opportunity. It's no longer a seller's market, but I'm going to go ahead and sell it because I just want to be done with this. There are a lot of people that are aging out of the housing market and don't want to own a home anymore. Maybe the house is too big. The maintenance is difficult to deal with and they're seniors. There are a lot of people who just want to get out of this cycle.
That's it. I can't take it no more.
Do you think a seller that is in their senior years, do you think they want to go through a cycle of a build back up for 10 years and then it busts again and the bubble pops? They don't want to do that. They do not want to be in that cycle. So what does that mean? That means that most seniors are going to end up being forced to sell or hold in rent. And that's another whole game in itself. Does a senior want to deal with tenants? So those are a lot of things that I'm starting to see, guys. And I hope that when you look at these mortgage rates, you don't think to yourself, I won't be able to buy a home because these interest rates are too freaking high.
It's time to stop.
I hope that is not the mindset that you're in. I'm hoping you're looking at these interest rates and you're like, the time is coming. That is less demand, putting more pressure on sellers to drop price and looking at the opportunity, because that's all we can hope for, guys, is the opportunity to get into a home that is more affordable for you and your family, guys. So as always, guys, I hope you got value out of this content, because that's what I'm doing this for. I want you to get value. Hope that you're entertained while watching these videos. But look, you won't get all of your information from this one video. You hear me? This one video won't do it. You need to watch this video here. It will give you information on the housing market, financial news, get into your first rental property, and I promise you, the information you will get from this video, it will be gold. Thanks. See you on the next one. Bye.